This is chapter 5, section 4, talking about completing the square. We've learned how to solve a quadratic a few ways. We learned how to solve by regular if you don't have a b term. We've learned how to solve by graphing, which you should never ever do unless you have to. It's the worst. And then we've learned how to solve by factoring. You've been doing that for the last days. You should always try to factor first, but it doesn't always work. When factoring can't work, which is often, we need another tool, and that tool is called completing the square, which I'll abbreviate as CTS. These are the steps for completing the square. I'm not going to leave them up for very long, so you can just press pause and copy them down. But there they are. I'll try and follow those as best I can. I'm going to complete the square over here. The goal of completing the square is take a problem that can't be factored and write it in a way where it can be factored. Now this one right here that I'm going to do, it actually can be factored right now. It's x plus 6, x plus 2. But I'm going to do it by completing the square anyways to show how this works. First thing I do is if this a value wasn't 1, I would divide by a. If the a value is 1, it's not a problem. Subtract a 12 from both sides, and I get that x squared plus 8x equals negative 12. You'll notice I left this gap here. I leave that gap there on purpose. I'm going to need it later. Next thing I do is I calculate b over 2 squared. Well, right now, b over 2 is 8 over 2, which is 4. So 4 squared is 16, b over 2 squared is 16. So I add a 16 here and a 16 here. The magic about this b over 2 term is it means that this can now factor. It is now x plus 4 squared. In fact, the beauty of this, Taylor, stop dropping your pencil, please. Yeah, Taylor, right when I said your name on the video, everyone's going to hear it. The beauty of this is this number here is always going to be this number here. It's always that b over 2. Whatever b over 2 was, that's what goes there. Even if it was negative, it goes there. So the left side factors, the right side is negative 12 plus 16 is 4. And now I have a problem that I can solve by square rooting. Square root both sides and I get that x plus 4 equals plus or minus 2. So x equals negative 2 or negative 6. I'll do one more example really quick. Add 11 to both sides. And I get that x squared minus 10x equals 11. My b value is negative 10. So b over 2 is negative 5. So b over 2 squared is positive 25. That b over 2 squared will always be positive. So I'm going to add a 25 here and a 25 here. This can factor. It becomes this. So it's x minus 5 squared equals 36. I have now completed the square. That's a completed square. Keep solving. X minus 5 equals plus or minus 6 because I square rooted both sides. So x equals 11 or x equals negative 2. Thank you very much. Sorry for my obnoxious frustration.